This program is sponsored by Reebok and Amstel, UEFA Champions League sponsors.
They've had a real roller coaster of a ride in world football's greatest club competition. But now it's the moment of truth for Manchester United, their final chance of qualification in the Champions League. Tonight is a showdown in Vienna. Defeat against the Austrian champions means the end for United, but even a win might not be enough. It's a dramatic scenario that will keep the Red Devils' travelling supporters and the TV millions back home on the edge of their seats until the final whistle. Good evening from the Ernst-Happel-Stadion for the climax of the group stage of the Champions League. Terry Venables and Glenn Hoddle are here with me tonight for what has to be a real nail-biting occasion. Why? Well, just take a look at the situation as it stands in Group C. Manchester United in third place with the top two only, remember, going through to the quarter-finals. So whatever happens in the other match in Turin is absolutely vital. Now, if Fenerbahce win, United go out regardless of what they do here. But if they draw Fenerbahce with Juventus, then United must win. But if Fenerbahce lose, a draw here in Vienna would be enough for the English champions to make those quarter-finals. Now, Terry, it's a pretty tortuous situation for any manager, isn't it?
You don't get any worse than this. I mean, there's a year and a half's work here, and it's all down to one night. And they know that they've got to keep the ball away from this team and really be professional, certainly not get any red cards.
Glenn, how do United have to go about it? What does that, 3 points have they got to go for?
I think they've got to be very positive, Bob. Yes, they've got to come here looking for a win. A point's no good because of the defeat at Old Trafford a couple of weeks ago. So it's got to be a positive performance tonight. But
Rapid, they have held Juventus here, Glenn, haven't they? They've held Fenerbahce here, unbeaten in 14 European games.
That's right, they've got a great record here. They haven't lost for a long, long time, and it's going to be a tough game. The beauty about this is it's a big pitch, and I think that's going to suit United. It's a good surface, and hoping from a big performance from Cantona tonight.
You think so as well, Terry?
Yeah, I think the stadium's fine. Everyone's well away from it. It's very open, and I like the look of the United side. I think they've got a good balance to it.
Well, I have to tell everybody at home that both Glenn and Terry have spotted a secret weapon for United here. I wonder if you recognise this person. Immaculate coat. Yeah, I know you've recognised it. Immaculate Trilby as well. Sir Bobby Charlton. A lovely smile from Alex Ferguson. I only hope they're smiling at the end of the evening. Well, of course, we'll also be keeping you in touch with the events in Turin throughout the game tonight. But after the break, well, we'll be having the kick-off here in Vienna for what promises to be one of the toughest matches that Alex Ferguson has faced in his 10 years so far at Old Trafford.
Oh, it's very important. We've had a lot of big games. I mean, it's what we always want. But I think that the fact that the two things, obviously, for my players' sake and the experience of getting to a real course in a big tournament like the Champions League weighs heavily on us, and we have a responsibility that way, and we hope we do well. Another thing is this criticism of English football. You see, it's a sort of a no-win situation. So hopefully tonight we can answer a lot of the criticism and get to the next stage, and I think we can do well then.
Hello again. This is the scene in Turin right now as Juventus take the pitch alongside Fenerbahce of Turkey. Juventus, remember, must at least draw. That is to give Manchester United here in Vienna a chance of going through to the quarter-finals of the Champions League. So let's join our commentary team, Ron Atkinson and first of all, Brian Moore.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you indeed, Bob. Let me first give you a check on the two teams for tonight, starting with Manchester United, who feel what Alex Ferguson feels is his strongest side at the moment. Gary Pallister, who missed the last two European games, returns to the defence. So does Dennis Irwin, who missed the Juventus game. United have got high hopes too of the work of David Beckham and Ryan Giggs down the wings, and Ole Solskjaer returns in place of Jordi Cruyff in attack alongside Eric Cantona, and tonight is certainly the night for Cantona, so pallid of late, to become a dazzler again. Rapid Vienna at the moment in their mid-winter league break. They've got defender Lesiak suspended. The current Austrian league leaders have a positive outlook tonight. They've paired their two main strikers, Wagner and Stumpf. They've packed the midfield. They rarely get beaten here. They've not won in the Champions League this season. It looks as though they mean to go out with a bang. Well, they froze on the night at Old Trafford in September and they were beaten. I just fancy in another sense we're all going to freeze here tonight. The temperature, I'm told, is already down to -4. Referee tonight is Leif Sundell of Sweden, 38-year-old civil servant, refereed in Euro 96, very experienced FIFA official, and it's Rapid Vienna in their green shirts who get us underway. Back to Ivanov, given away. So what do we require from Manchester United tonight? It's a performance that showed the same spirit and skill, really, that they showed in the second half of that titanic match against Juventus, or indeed the blistering start they made against Rapid Vienna at Old Trafford back in September when they scored a couple of goals quite early on. And I think Alex Ferguson is quite sure the first priority is not to do anything silly and not to give anything away early. Avoiding defeat, of course, is the first important essential of this night for Manchester United. Shuttle again. Physically they look a much bigger side than Manchester United, although the 6'4" of Gary Pallister helps balance things up a little bit. There's Neville. It's a good, quite enough start for Manchester United. Solskjaer on the far side, and the throw to United. Certainly feel they've got to give Rapid no encouragement at all in the early stages of this game. Later on then they can apply the pressure and then go for the win that will be so vital for Manchester United. Gary Neville with the throw. He hurls a good long one there. Pallister's up there as well, and it almost came to something for them. In the end it was pushed behind by Prosinek for the corner. Beckham will take this one. Cantona in there, Pallister's up from the back as well. It's very reassuring to see his huge figure in there, pushed away and not very far, and banged over the top there by Cantona. Ron Atkinson, an early thought?
Yes, I think you said it in a nutshell. It's very, very important. Everybody talks about what would happen if Juventus win, draw, lose. The important thing is, from United's point of view, at least they don't get beaten here and then take whatever else comes into the bargain.
Keane. Neville again. Fairly leisurely pace at the moment. Knocked forward again there by Beckham towards Cantona. He and Solskjaer, two leading men right up front there. But this is Ratajczak. Pallister's there, confidently stabbing that ball away for Roy Keane. Here's Irwin. Shuttle. Haref. Prosinek. Keane, hit Sturger in the face. Giggs again. Ivanov, the Bulgarian, vastly experienced. Again, Roy Keane in so quickly, challenging there the Andreas Haref, the number 20.
Yeah, the one thing I hope United don't do, Brian, is I hope they don't sit too far back. Pallister, as you say, is a big plus for them in their experience and pace. But I think they've also got to try and engage the Austrian, if you like, the Austrian back three. They play with two markers, our old mate at the back, Ivanov, just the spare man. I don't think they've got to leave him too much time and space. They've got to try and attack him because, as we saw at Old Trafford, he is dead dodgy when people with pace go at him.
Giggs.
Optimistically, I actually thought there was an opportunity to test Ivanov. Giggs, he actually had him 1v1 there.
Neville. Keane up well. It's been very involved early on. Wagner chasing. Schmeichel is out.
If you remember, if you go back
to bench, just have a look at the subs bench for a moment, Ron. Kevin Pilkington, the goalkeeper for Manchester United. And before we go on, though, that's the cross by Beckham coming in. Karaf getting it away. Giggs chasing him. McClare's on the bench, Cruyff's on the bench, Boborski's on the bench, and Chris Casper, young Burnley lad, son of the old Burnley player Frank Casper. Casper is the last of the substitutes. Ronnie Johnson would have been, but he's not feeling particularly well at the moment. He's got a bad cold, he's back at the hotel. In the meantime, here's Sturger. And that's no problem at all for Schmeichel. Solskjaer. Certainly right when United's thoughts and concentration must never waver. Their thoughts haven't got to go towards Turin. The battle has got to be won here. As Bob was telling you, Rapid have got a terrific record here. They've not lost in something like 15 European games. And there's Giggs, though! Stealing in there magnificently. And what an opportunity. His run gave him such a chance. But his touch was just a little too firm, and over the Austrian crossbar it went.
Yeah, superb balling. Giggs sprinted through the middle where the two strikers had split, and really a great opportunity missed. It's an open goal really for a player of his class.
Consul with a kick, but an encouraging start nonetheless for Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it at Old Trafford, but although we've said they mustn't get beat, they've also got to go at them as much as they can, because we saw at Old Trafford when the game is a high tempo and the ball is zipped about, the Austrians look decidedly uncomfortable. I think they'll be very happy if United play a low tempo and let them bed down.
Pallister, Keane, and now David May. Remember, Juventus have been here and didn't win. They got a draw. Fenerbahce have been here. They didn't win. They also got a draw. Something like 14-15 games since they last lost a European game at home. Rapid Vienna leading the Austrian league at the moment and going into their midwinter break. So they're a side to be reckoned with. Giggs. It's a foul, free kick on Solskjaer.
This is where, of course, I mean, May's been very useful for them recently, but they've got the added presence now of big Pallister going.
And they've both gone forward, May and Pallister. Cantona's in there, Keane is in there, there's Solskjaer there as well, looking to make a bit of mischief. Giggs running over the ball, David Beckham curling it in, and not very successfully. And a chance for Kubau to break. But a poor ball.
Yeah, he's made a poor ball. I was just going to comment there, actually. He's a player, Kubau, the number 10, we wouldn't like to see have too much space. Just in the latter stages of the first match at Old Trafford, he's tended to get into the game a little bit, and Rapid's best moments came from when he was in good possession.
Ivanov. This is Stumpf and now Kubau. That's a foul by Keane.
It's quite accidental, but it makes you wonder what will happen the next time he goes in.
Well, we know what will happen the next time he goes in, Ron. The yellow card would brandish for sure. Well, now there's some defending for Manchester United to do. Ivanov playing it here for Sturger. Played in the game for Kubau, played long this time for Prozinek, too long in fact. Goal kick. United feeling that the European Champions League was looking good for them back in September after they'd lost in Turin against Juventus and came back with a good win against Rapid Vienna. But of course, as we all know, in recent weeks their form has deserted them. They've lost something like, I think it's 6 out of the last 10. Confidence has evaporated and needs to be brought back here in Vienna. That's a great save by Consul from Gary Neville, who's never scored. But my goodness, he wasn't far off the mark there. Consul has just been named Austria's goalkeeper of the year, or footballer of the year rather, by the coaches of the first division. Showed an excellent piece of keeping there. But a corner then for Manchester United. Beckham with it, and again not a very good one, and Kubauer gets it clear. Stöger. There's a real workhorse through that midfield area. Up goes Kubauer again. United have made a chance or two for themselves as yet, and they look fairly secure. Pallister is a very reassuring figure at the back, and Keane looks full of life through the midfield. Neville's made a little run for him down the right, but he's changed it this time, and Irwin just keeps it in play. Giggs up towards Cantona.
I think an encouraging thing for United as well is every time the ball is played into the front, we've already seen Giggs burst through the strikers. Beckham's just tried to do it. Butt's done it on several occasions, so at least they're looking very, very positive-minded there. And I actually think the little triangle of Butt, Neville, and Beckham on the right-hand side is causing or looking good at the moment.
Free kick though to Rapid Vienna.
Why not, as you said at the onset, Keane, of course. He's the insurance in midfield. He's the dominant one that will allow those others to run forward. And there's no doubt he'll get forward at some given stage in the game.
Consul with the kick. Seems to quite be a fashion for goalkeepers to be captains. Rusto of Fenerbahce was a captain, of course. Peruzzi, when he came with Juventus to Old Trafford, he was a captain, the goalkeeper. To check to Stumpf. And they're forced to an offside position there. Kubauer offside. Current Austrian international Kubauer with something like 20 caps. 50,000 all seated. In fact, there are a few empty seats, but it's got a capacity of 50,000 here. The Ernst-Happel-Stadion used to be called the old Prater Stadium. Stöger. Foul on Stumpf. Free kick. Ball kicked away there by David May. That was daft. That was silly. And May continued an argument there with Stumpf, and the referee, I must say, was very lenient there, because it looked to me as though May did kick the ball away. And that very often brings the yellow card.
Certainly in the Premiership it had been in the book, no
without a doubt. Kubauer seems to be everywhere. Throw to Manchester United.
The referee definitely want to play at a low tempo. They want to keep the game nice and steady and not have any real. This is nice.
Here's Beckham. Here's some nice play. Cantona's got his arm aloft in the centre there, but that was a poor ball again by Beckham. But it falls nonetheless for Dennis Irwin. Keane. Neville. Okay. That was Nicky Butt, I beg your pardon.
I think he had more time than he thought there,
yes,
Nicky Butt. He ran the thing from the edge of the box, probably thought he was going to get closed out. Now, I'm not so sure that the Austrians are too keen on coming and having a confrontation physically. I think he expected to get closed down a lot quicker than he was.
There's Butt again. Didn't get the header that time. Pallister did. Matušić starting the movement here. Irwin clearing again for Manchester United. Towards Solskjaer and Cantona. Zingler. Brozovic. Kubar's gone forward. Sturger. Little chip by him. Cut out again. Kept by Alistair. Flick on, and there's a nice little challenge there, I think, by Brozovic on Pallister, who goodness knows has had his problems. First with his back and then with his knee, and in fact he was telling me last night that his knee had pumped up a little bit after Saturday's game against Leicester, but it had gone down last night.
I think while we're talking of Pallister as well, you know, this lad on the ball was having mentioned as well earlier. I mean, he's a very experienced European campaigner. He was missing from the Juventus game, wasn't he?
He was. Who were?
Dennis Irwin.
Dennis Irwin,
yeah.
Yes, of course.
I mean, that's a big bulk out of your back four to have players of that sort of quality missing.
Here's Irwin again. Solskjaer. Neville taking no chances, getting it back to Schmeichel, banged away by him, the big goalkeeper, up towards Solskjaer. Ivanov. Oh, he was attacked by Beckham, and that ball just needed to fall nicely for Beckham, but sadly it wouldn't, and Zingler brings it away. Pass is on here. Schmeichel's a long way out. There was no foul, said the referee. The Austrians are complaining, and Schmeichel was in trouble there for a moment. Giggs gets it inside, and Butt gets it away. Took a clattering as he did so, and the Austrians clearly felt there was an infringement there by Schmeichel, and had the referee thought there was one, then without a doubt it would have been a sending off. But the referee, I think, was absolutely right.
I think the referee was spot on. I must admit I had to wait to see it there before making a comment, Brian, sitting on the fence if you like. But I think Schmeichel made a bad decision there. I couldn't believe when I saw him come herring out of his goal there. I mean, the player was a million miles from goal, had plenty to do.
Good play by Sturger.
And 9 times out of 10 that usually results in the goalkeeper making a connection with him.
Foul by Irwin, and another free kick that United have to face. There we see it again from another angle. We felt the referee was dead right, but now there could be a problem for Manchester United, as this free kick from Sturger will come flying into their penalty area. Plenty of green shirts of Rapid fall.
Get away from the danger zone. So we've just seen the two sides of Pete Schmeichel in the last few seconds.
Well, here comes another corner. It's not over yet, and Nicky Butt gets that one away. But that was a superlative piece of goalkeeping by Peter Schmeichel. It looks even better from there. But now they're still defending, Manchester United, and defending well and getting it clear. Here's Ryan Giggs. Well, if United do get something out of this night, and it all turns to happiness for them, they will look back at that moment as being maybe more significant than any other.
I mean, there wasn't too much wrong with the header, was there?
No, there was nothing wrong.
Wagner had headed it perfectly, and he was probably turning around to the acclaim.
This is a good spell for Rapid. But Giggs comes in to thwart them this time. Cantona, dwelt far too long on the ball there. Offside flag is up against Stumpfen as well. But it was, and it just clipped off the top of the crossbar. But the flag was well up, but it was a mistake in the first place by Cantona. Free kick to Manchester United. On a bitterly cold night, it's warming up here. The camera behind that goal, as we look at that wonderful save again, I'm told it's frozen up, it's so cold here. But Wagner thought that was the opening goal. May with the free kick, but straight to Ivanov. That's a free kick, surely. Not allowed to strangle players.
Mind, there's been times when I wouldn't have minded doing it.
Well, here's Gary Neville. Sinned against, but no, it's going to be David May who takes the free kick. Floated again towards Beckham down that right-hand side. Several of the players, as you noted, wearing gloves, and here's one of them. Wagner. Oh, he's got past Pallister this time. Stumpfer's in the middle. There could be problems here. Kubay's coming up as well. Again, he's done well. And again, they've missed a chance. Kubaya came in. But again, before that, there was a superb piece of goalkeeping again by Peter Schmeichel, and United were all over the place in defence.
Yeah, I think maybe Gary Pallister, there's a bit of arm wrestling goes on there, but Wagner sees you for a minute here. I thought he was going to cut this one back. He got players waiting for a cutback. I thought he'd taken a bit of a selfish option there.
That was an important little move there by Schmeichel, just getting it away, even though it fell to Kubau.
Yeah, he got a good hand on it, but I mean, he'll be a bit unhappy with it going in the path of Kubau here. And when he fell to him, I thought, well, they're going to score this time.
But they haven't. It's 0-0, but United are treading on thin ice at the moment. Solskjaer can't get to that. We need a flash from Cantona. Solskjaer goes through, but gets nowhere with it. Giggs now. Giggs again. This is more like it. Cantona is waiting there for him. There's Cantona knocking it down. Beckham can't get a shot in. Beckham tries again. This time he's released Cantona. Now, a little dink from the sideline. It takes a little too long over it, but United got a corner.
You know, it's funny how games turn on little incidents, and I'm just wondering that one where Schmeichel came out when there was no apparent danger, caused a bit of eruptions, lifted their team up a little bit, and now they've been playing ever since then, the Austrians.
Here comes the corner. Alex Ferguson doing some shouting there to Dennis Irwin. Keane playing it in again, playing it wide once again there. No flag up for an offside against Eric Cantona. A little cross coming in. And it's just wide. David May right there at the end.
Well, we're seeing a remarkable episodes now, aren't we? I mean, that's an absolute, at this level, that is a gimme.
And no offside given.
Ball's kept back, just knocks it back across the goal here, the defender. And that's a gimme, isn't it? Oh, no. It's unbelievable, this.
Well, the chances are falling thick and fast. But it's still 0-0. Up goes Butt. Here comes Beckham. Solskjaer chasing again. Corner for Manchester United.
What we do on Beckham's had 2 or 3 corners where his quality's been nowhere near the standard we expect from him.
Alistair and May are there. Keane is there. Giggs is there. Solskjaer on the goal line. Cantona holding back for a moment. That's a better looking one though. And May's coming flying in there. Hit Console with it. The referee not happy with that. Given a free kick. Nothing else.
That was a much better delivery, and May attacks it, and that's good goalkeeping from Console.
Console's been the keeper. He's been here since 1985.
There's not much more David May could have done about that. He's attacked that very bravely, tried to get first to the ball, and Console's shown some superb keeping skills.
Console's kick. Owen. Beckham. Cantona deep. Keane. Cutting it wide this time for Neville. Cantona. Tries to thread it through for Ole Solskjaer. Beckham chasing Haraf. Keane. Neville. Roy Keane again. Giggs. Last one. Takes another. Flicks it on to Cantona. Does well. Giggs now! Giggs now! And United have scored! Ryan Giggs! A wonderful break for Manchester United. Cantona fully involved. Applaud from the substitutes. And smiles from David Beckham and from Ryan Giggs. And Giggs was there to finish it off 1-0 Manchester United.
Started and finished by Giggs, wasn't it? He's at the end of it here when Cantona threads him in, but what we're not seeing there is the run Giggs has made across the field from the left wing to link up with Cantona in the first place to lose his marker. That's superb player by 2 superb players there, and that's, in view of the finishing we've seen, that's a brilliant finish. But what impressed me most about that, Ron, he left the line earlier earlier in the match when he missed the chance through the middle. He did exactly the same diagonal run then and lost his marker.
Important now that they concede nothing here. That's right, bang it away, David May. The first goal that Giggs has scored since he scored one against Forest back in September. Only his second goal of the season. In comes Irwin. Here's Ryan Giggs again, really on song. But no, beaten that time by Href. And they get it through to Stumpf. But in come the long legs of Gary Pallister. Giggs again. Irwin. Shuffle. Back by Irwin. Zinkler. Rozenik. United a goal up then. Keane got in the way. It's a throw for Rapid Vienna. Kubau, a long cross there, and it was Stumpf on the other end of it, but United get it away to Beckham and hit long. Solskjaer chasing, Zinkler with him. Oh, Cantona's gone into a great position. Didn't quite get through to him though. Here's Nicky Butt. Butt again. Irwin, and now Roy Keane. May poking it through here now for Dennis Irwin. Neville. Cantona. Some red shirts are in there too. Cantona, no foul. It was just inside the box. Referee looked at the linesman. The two Swedes said no. And Cantona disappointed. Giggs did well again there. Irwin. Roy Keane. Beckham. Finds Cantona again. It's looking more like a good Cantona performance here at the moment. He's playing in some good balls. A throw then for Rapid. Here's the reverse angle again. Giggs doing so much here. Playing it to Cantona. And then the killer pass from the big Frenchman. And then the killer shot from the little Welshman. Rozenik. Oh, this looks dangerous. Kubau's in there again. He has to be watched, but Pallister is there. Oh, he's in danger of losing it and has lost it. And Sturvel had a shot. And it might go anywhere. Heref's having a go, and they're playing a dangerous game again, Manchester United, but Nicky Butt gets it away now. Keane. Beckham. Cantona. Encouraging Beckham to go on. Beckham trying to get it back to Cantona. Oh, a nice little back heel. Beckham again. Beckham and Solskjaer, who scored in the game at Old Trafford, now hit long, perhaps too long for Cantona, but he's got Giggs in support. Who better? Irwin. Cantona. Keane played forward quickly. Giggs, a little turn, a little shuffle, and a pass for Irwin, and that's going to be another corner. They're looking better, Ron.
Oh, every time they come, they're still looking shaky at the back sometimes, aren't they? But every time they come forward from all angles. Giggs on this side, Beckham making runs off the other flank.
Running repairs for the Manchester United goalkeeper there.
He's probably getting those springs put back in that he made that save with.
That save was astonishing, wasn't it? Beckham then. 5 corners to Manchester United, only 1 to Rapid. Beckham gets another go. Floats it in. David May's in there. Kubau with the ball clear. It's Giggs again. But it wasn't a good ball. Stumpf. It wasn't a good ball either from Buck, but he eventually got it through to Giggs, and now Keane to Owen. Beckham.
That's one thing they can always do, Brian. They can always play the ball into midfield because they don't really, the Austrians don't really challenge for it in there.
Here's Roy Keane.
Prefer to funnel back to the edge of their own box.
Beckham again, floated high. Cantona trying to get on the end of it. But he's looking a bit more like his old self tonight.
Yeah, what he's done once or twice, he's made himself available for little balls played up to him and he can join people in. He's also making that position on the far post a lot. And I think they're vulnerable to that. They don't have a covering fullback by the system they play. Using wing backs, there's a lot of space for people running into that area. Cantona's particularly good when he's on his game at going there.
Foul on Stumpf, free kick to Rapid Vienna. Manchester United leading 1-0 with just over half an hour gone. Ryan Giggs the scorer. And the Bulgarian even off with this free kick. Good header by Gary Neville then. Beckham, Solskjaer outside him. That's gone through the middle. Support here by Keane. Irwin's down the left-hand side. Cantona. Neville. Oh, that's a lovely turn there by Beckham. A beautiful turn by Beckham. Oh my goodness, it needed somebody just to finish that off. Cantona is allowed to go out. Right, let's at the moment time have a little look at what's happening in Turin.
Okocha will take the free kick. Towards Uche! Well, it just bumped the crossbar on its way to safety. I think Peruzzi, the goalkeeper, just about had it covered.
So still 0-0 there. 1-0 to Manchester United here. Offside. Like a very dangerous Fenerbahce attack just a moment ago in Turin.
Very much so.
Neville gets it back. Schmeichel. And short. Towards Solskjaer, even off the last man with a header. Leif helping it on. Up goes Pallister. Coming through to Cantona, given away that time to Prosinek. Leif. There's May. Schmeichel's clearance. Cantona. But brought down, free kick for Manchester United. Back it goes to the keeper. Hit straight to Giggs. Cantona. May. Slack ball there by David May, and here come Rapid Vienna again, but Giggs once again takes possession. Irwin, Keane to Giggs, and now Neville. Beckham. Neville again. Solskjaer's waiting. Keane's coming in quickly. Giggs is coming in as well. May, Beckham. Bookmakers, in fact, were very optimistic about Manchester United tonight. Ladbrokes, in fact, made United odds on to win tonight, 11-10 on. And also Odds on to qualify for the quarter-finals, 7-4 on. But their optimism wanes a little bit when they talk about Manchester United actually winning the whole event. They've now drifted out to 14-1, and Juventus are the 5-2 favourites there, according to that books.
I think you work on the premise if they win tonight, they've got to be very desperately unlucky on the evening not to go through.
Yes. But Beckham. Beckham playing it in a game, but there was such a punishing defeat of theirs at Old Trafford against Fenerbahce, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Solskjaer, here we go now. Here's Nicky Butt coming in. Good work that time by Consul. But Cantona, keeper's only just got back in. Oh, a fierce shot there by Cantona. And fisted away that time by Consul. But Cantona struck that superbly after Butt had almost looked as though he might get on the score sheet.
Yeah, I mean, you think Butt's here in the end of this little 1-2 here. That's nearly, that is some superb play, scrambled out to Cantona, and he smashed it there.
Prozinek, Ivanov gets it away. Here's Cantona again. And Keane with a shot that time. They all want to get in on the action now.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think it's good the fact that they want to take the game forward, because, you know, I don't think Rapid Vienna can take a high tempo match at all. I think if they sat back a little bit, we've already seen once or twice when the Austrians have come forward, they can create danger. And you just get the feeling that if they could get another one now, you don't really see them losing the game at all then.
Cantona, the back heel for Giggs, played again, so little space there, and in the end there wasn't enough for the two of them, and Prozinek brings it away, but in comes Beckham, and Cantona now tries to get the ball through to Solskjaer.
At the moment, the biggest plus is they appear to have far more energy in the midfield, the engine rooms of the respective teams, if you like.
Here's Heraf. Number 20, Heraf. Radacek. And Keane gets it back. Schmeichel gets it clear. Stöger. Ivanov. Prozinek. Alistair. Mays had it that time. There could be some problems here. Kubau. The back heel. Stöger shot. Good work again. Stöger hit that really well.
Well, they've shown once or twice that when they've got time, they've got space, they've got good technique, and they're not afraid to set little things up around the edge of the box for themselves. When I thought Kuba refused the chance of a shot early doors, he's really set that one in well for Stöger. Fortunately, right down the keeper's throat.
Long click then by Schmeichel from one keeper to the other. And now Ivanov. Beckham. He's given that away badly. Solskjaer, Owen again. Giggs was lingering on the line here, but has now moved inside. Cantona, Beckham.
Yeah, that's when they look good, Brian, when the two wide players run their markers in field. So I think there have been key confrontations that the United wide players have won.
Well, here's another surging run by Roy Keane, and it really fell for Nicky Butt. It's with Ryan Giggs now, floated in by him towards Butt, but just too high, and the flag had stayed down. Just a reminder in a nutshell then, if United, if they're going to get into the quarter-finals, they need to do better tonight than Fenerbahce in Turin. If Fenerbahce lose, United must at least draw. If Fenerbahce draw with Juventus, United must win here. If Fenerbahce do win in Turin, then there's nothing Manchester United can do about it. They would be eliminated. But at the moment, just to remind you, it's 0-0 in Turin, and United, of course, are winning here. If it's been that way at the end of the evening, of course, United will qualify for the quarter-finals when they will play Porto in March, the Portuguese champions. Free kick, and I think Roy Keane could be in trouble. Yellow card.
What's turned into trouble here when it was a bit unnecessary and has caused Keane to overcommit himself, but that looks a genuine attempt now for me. He's paid the penalty of the first one, you know. I mean, we've seen Kubar go rolling all over the show, but he didn't really catch him that much.
Got a free kick now, which United have to face as we come to the last 5 minutes of the first half. Important 5 minutes these. Important that United stay firm and controlled and very much in command. Ivanov then with this free kick. Leif with the header. United's goal kick. Of course are, as we've told you before, sky high these days. They've gone through the roof. A draw is worth £250,000. A win is worth £500,000. And just for qualifying, free kick, just for qualifying for the quarter-finals, if in fact United were to win here tonight and qualify for the quarter-finals, for which they get £1.2 million, they'd go away from Vienna really for one night's work with about £1.75 million better off. Here's Roy Keane. Ball ricochets sadly straight to Ratajcic. Haraf. Shuttle. Phantom is after him. Back to Ivanov. Haraf. Up to Stumpf. Down the line, Irwin first to react. But a throw then to Rapid Vienna. Krosinic with it. Haraf. In comes Keane again. Irwin running into trouble, gets a free kick. Conceded by Christian Stumpf. Michael gets it away. Solskjaer playing it inside, but it was a lazy sort of ball, and there was no real support there for him. And Kubar. Pallister. What a difference it's appeared just having Pallister there. The insurance there is in that United defence, Ron, as Giggs comes forward again. But Ivanov gets it away.
That looks more solid even if he's not round the ball, doesn't it?
He does. Giggs again. Well, the little ball is on now for Beckham. One of Beckham's long-range specials, perhaps no, but he's got Neville up ahead of him, and he's got Cantona alongside him. But May.
I don't know if it's a deliberate ploy, Bright, but if it is, I think Alex Ferguson deserves to be congratulated, leaving his wide midfield players basically to attack. I mean, they've come so far back with Rapid Vienna's wing-backs, but by and large, then they've passed them over to their own defenders and stayed in attacking positions. I mean, Beckham's virtually played like an orthodox right wing, hasn't he?
Here's Keane. Now Irwin. Last 90 seconds of the first half here in Vienna. So far it's going very well indeed for Manchester United, leading by Ryan Giggs' goal. Keane. Lovely turn there by Solskjaer. A great turn by him and a superb shot pushed away for the corner by Console.
That was a brilliant effort, wasn't it? Accepted him brilliantly, spun his marker, and then hit a really fierce effort. I thought once he turned him here, he was going to go for a bender, going to try and curl it around the keeper, but he's lashed the thing. As you said, a terrific save from the keeper.
Keeper's done well. Cantona with the corner. Giggs making a little run towards it. Pallister's in there too.
That's been a disappointing aspect of the play, actually, the corners. Delivery of the United corners.
Cantona. Struggling to get that away, but now Ivanov gets it away. And away come Rapid Vienna. Here could be problems now for Manchester United in the last few seconds of this first half. Sturger coming in. Playing it wide for Prosinec. Oh. Goal kick. And in fact, there goes the half-time whistle. And let's go straight for some more action in Turin.
Giuliano going on. Cross towards Paravano. Yes! Juventus take the lead with less than 4 minutes of the first half remaining. And it's the man who's come in for Alan Boksic, Michele Paravano, who has headed the goal.
Well, that tied to the Ryan Giggs goal is the best possible news tonight from Manchester United, leading here in Vienna by 1-0. We'll take a break.
Back to Vienna. We might look a little bit cold out here tonight, but my goodness, we're warmed by the scoreline at the moment, because Man United are leading Rapid Vienna 1-0. Juventus are leading Fenerbahce 1-0. What do you make of it, Terry, so far?
I think it's very good. I mean, I think the Austrian team, the defence are very poor. There's a lot of spaces, but Manchester United are making the most of it. And they deserve perhaps even to be more than one goal, without a doubt.
Glenn, they deserve to be ahead, don't they?
Tremendous performance so far, Bob. Yeah, very much so. They've been composed, they've been on top of their game, and really, as Terry's just said, they're poor defensively, Vienna. And in many ways, it's disappointing they haven't scored more than the one goal.
Yeah, we really need 30 minutes to get in all the action, but let's go through, first of all, one of the goals of the season, I think, this, isn't it, Glenn?
It's a fantastic move. It's you know, it started way back with Neville at the back there, but Cantona, first thing that he did in the game was an excellent ball, and Giggsy this time has kept his cool. He had a chance early doors, and he skied it over the bar, but kept his head. Super goal, super goal.
Actually, Giggs comes off from the line way back, and he does well. He's travelling, he's in complete control of the ball. Lovely ball in. Cantona just swerves past the defender beautifully and clips a very early ball in. He's already sized up what he's going to do and plants it in a corner. Absolutely superb goal.
You've mentioned, lads, that really disappointed that United aren't more up. If that's one of the goals of the season, we certainly had probably the miss of the season from Solskjaer, Terry.
Yeah, we did. The ball comes and it's flighted nicely. It gets nodded down beautifully. It's all the time in the world. It's all in front of him, and it's slow. It's not come at him fast.
It's just probably come. He's probably been shocked that the ball's ended up here. The defender's made a real bad mistake, and it's coming to him late, but he should score from there, Bob.
So one of the goals of the season, the miss of the season, one of the saves of the season coming up. This is absolutely tremendous from Peter Schmeichel.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic save. I mean, this has kept United in the game at a crucial time, and the technique.
Superb.
Well, Glenn, you mentioned Gordon Banks' save. You're referring to 1970 and the World Cup, and probably Banks'
was a better save overall, but the technique was very much the same.
Yeah, I think Banks reaches a long way back for the ball, whereas today Schmeichel was very close to him, and he's had to get it up and over, which is also as difficult, I think.
We've got good news from Turin as well. Padovano's goal there, Glenn.
Yeah, great news. I mean, the news is getting better and better, but I think United, if they continue in this vein, can make it 2 or 3 tonight. If they can continue to play like they have been, but the result in Turin is obviously important as well. So all in all, a good night so far.
So they've not got to sit on this lead, have they?
Oh, they won't sit on it. And to be fair, they're not just relied on Juventus. They've done their own work extremely well. I think I said the shape of the team is good. There's a good atmosphere without being intimidating, and it's just the sort of game that they wanted. The pitch is good, and they're controlling the ball. They're controlling the ball and making them run. And I think I think Ivanov, the Bulgarian centre-half, gave it up after the goal. It just looks like he's completely disinterested.
It was a little worrying at one stage for United, though, wasn't it, Glenn, really? I mean, they looked a bit frail themselves.
Well, it's a strange situation. They've been in control of the game so much that it's a strange situation that they've ended up with some good chances. They've had some excellent chances as well, the Austrians, but all in all, United have controlled the game, and I feel if they continue this, I mean, it's a strange thing for me is that Cantona, in actual fact, hasn't really dictated the game like he might have done, but he was very much so in the goal, and it was a great ball that he's played for Giggsy.
All right, thanks very much for the moment. Now let me just remind you that we also have a highlights programme tonight as well on ITV. Rangers away to Auxerre, and Milan and Ajax, well, they're both in danger of going out. All the action at 11:40. But here in Vienna at half-time, Manchester United have their noses in front. A wonderful goal it was as well from Ryan Giggs. I wonder if the second half will be as eventful. See you again in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Vienna, where it's good news at this moment for Manchester United. They're leading Rapid Vienna 1-0. I can tell you that the dressing room was ecstatic, the United dressing room, when we told them that Juventus were also leading against Fenerbahce. But let's hear straight away from the United manager, Alex Ferguson. He's with Gary Newbon.
Alex, so far very good. Juventus winning 1-0 and Manchester United winning 1-0.
Well, I hope it stays that way, both scores. But we've played some very good football, but then a few times we've lost the ball easily. We've nearly lost a goal, and Piers Michaels have had a fantastic save, and they've had one terrible, real bad miss. I think we've had one or two ourselves, mind you, but I'm pleased at general play, but we have any mistakes we make, we look as if it could be punished, so it's a matter of not doing anything stupid. Make sure we keep good possession, make sure we get to the areas where we've hurt them in the first half. I think Ryan Giggs is a key to that. Some of his forward runs has been very good, and David Beckham has penetrated very well on the other side. So if we keep that part going and keep it nice and tight at the back, then we'll be happy.
But Vienna have shown that if you make any mistakes, they'll snap on them.
Absolutely. It's a lesson, isn't it?
But it's in a nice position now because at least Juventus are in front. I mean, it's not as if they're chasing the game or anything.
No, that's right. But we've also got to do the job here. And that is the name. It's a difficult game. It's been quite an open match actually, and I just hope that we can go and have a good 45 minutes now.
So, what have you said to the players about the second half, which is obviously going to be key to you?
Said that no, we make any silly mistakes individually. We've caught possession once or twice, and it's nearly cost us. They know that, that they're aware of that. It's just reminders to them. And I feel if we can eradicate these individual mistakes, then I think we can get the result.
Well, our thanks to Alex for that. You're back in the commentary box now with Ron Atkinson and me, Brian Moore, in a really important 45 minutes in the history of Manchester United Football Club. Leading 1-0 here, looking to hold on to that lead, and hoping that Juventus can do the same against Fenerbahce, and that United then would go into the quarterfinals. A mistake there by Ivanov, and Solskjaer has pounced on it. He's got support from Giggs and from Cantona. And he's still not finished. Giggs again. Well, that was extraordinary. Well, I wondered whether he'd given a penalty for a moment because the referee was standing there. I cannot think how that was missed.
Well, I thought here he's going to shoot. He sets him up with a little ball here, and he actually thought Giggs had just knocked it in and made it game, set and match. Well, that'll go down as almost on a par with Solskjaer's in the first half, I would think.
Beckham may put in a bit of trouble there, and then losing out. But here's Pallister again.
Well, he's had 3 chances, Ryan Giggs, and he's scored with the hardest out of the lot. He's had 2 tap-ins, the other ones.
Free kick then to Rapid Vienna. Kubar behind it. Ivanov as well.
Well, he might just have a fancy a dip from him.
He has got a thrash on him, hasn't he?
He'll do something to earn his money.
2 in the wall, but Schmeichel with plenty of time to find it. One would hope if it gets through them. There's Ivanov's kick, and it's way over the top. I'll just remind you, though, that 2 teams from the group of 4 qualify for the knockout quarter-finals, 2 from each group. Juventus already through in this group. And also before tonight, Porto, Atletico Madrid and Borussia Dortmund, the only other 3. If Manchester United do get into the quarter-finals, we already know that they'll be playing Porto of Portugal in the quarter-finals in March, home and away. That becomes knockout then. In the meantime, it's Radicek, the Pole, with a long throw. Sturger's made a little run, Wagner too. Played it there towards Sturger. They get it away up to Cantona. Beckham played a ball inside, which was a little bit dangerous, and it fell for United first, and then it was lost, and now Sturger playing it in, and Schmeichel's there once again. With a little throw out to Nicky Butt. Giggs. It's a free kick. Already taken. Cantona. Dennis Irwin. Beckham's made a run towards him. They got themselves on that very skillfully indeed to the Austrian champions. But in goes Neville. No foul there on Stumpf. Neville again. To Roy Keane. Already on a yellow card. And Keane's given it away badly there to Stumpf. Kubau hit long now towards Wagner, but too long.
Yeah, they could just do a little spell now, United, of putting 1 or 2 passes together, getting the feel that they're back out on the field again. And whether they've gone cold with the weather and what have you, the half-time break, but at the moment they haven't looked as snappy or as incisive.
Radicek. May coming across, timed that challenge well. But another throw. United at the moment just can't get out of their own penalty area, really. Wagner's turn. And the little cross by him. Oh, that was an important header there by Pallister. And the flag is up on the far side, Ron.
Offside.
Offside, but for all that,
yes.
That was Pallister at his best again.
Yes.
Incidentally, Alex Ferguson didn't want to know anything about Turin in the first half. Although I gather that he wants to be told by Gary Newborn just what the situation is in the second half, presumably if he wants to make any emergency tactical substitution. So far from Turin, the news is good. If you've just joined us, Juventus are leading 1-0, Manchester United leading here 1-0. Heraf again. Return by Zingler. Flick forward by him. This is good play here. But then in comes Neville. Back to Schmeichel. Up towards Solskjaer. Flag was up on the far side for an offside, which I imagine is against Stumpf. It'll be a free kick to Manchester United. Pallister. Irwin. Up to Solskjaer. Giggs played in neatly and accurately, but Rapid Vienna come away again. Araf. Schertel. Stumpf. And well stopped there by Irwin. Good defending. Keane turning away from danger. Finding David May. Gary Neville. Pallister. All the green shirts are around the place. Don't make it difficult now for Schmeichel, which he did. But Beckham, the little header, given off. Kubau is giving it away. Solskjaer. Butt's gone on ahead of him. Pallister will be there first.
Now this is the base from where they want to start again. They want to get the ball into midfield a little bit, get some passes played. I mean, they dominated that area of the field in the first half. In the second half, they've allowed the green shirts of Vienna to come into the game.
It's Kubau forward to Wagner. In comes Keane. Does well. Can Beckham keep it in play? Yes. And does really well. That's going to be a throw to Manchester United. Radicek none too happy with it, but It'll be Neville taking it. A long one. Beckham's already chasing it. Solskjaer's in the middle for him. Good play here by Beckham. Hasn't got it away yet. Singler's header clear. Giggs. Cantona on the far side. Go on, let it go. No. Nicky Butt. A poor effort.
Yeah, he should have kept it going right again. I mean, once Cantona had nudged it off to him, Beckham was in a superb position on the right-hand side of the box. But I mean, that to me was the key area in the first half. Butt, Keane, Beckham and Giggs, I think they dominated that area of the field. Now, it's important because they have got one or two talents in there, Rapid Vienna, particularly, as we know, Kubar. If he was allowed the time and space, we've seen what he can do in the past.
Well, there he is, trying to get the header there, but Nicky Butt getting the better of him. Radicic getting it away. May returning it. Up goes Kubao. May again.
I mean, I think in the first half we were sort of singing the praises of the eye-catching players like Giggs and Beckham and people like that, but nobody did better than Roy Keane in that first half. Right. You know, he bossed the game. He looked like one of the old-fashioned dictators in there.
Here's Irwin. To Ryan Giggs. Oh.
It's just not flowing, is it?
It isn't. Just the rhythm has gone for the moment again.
Balls aren't quite linking up and catching up with each other, and yet they've still had the easiest chance.
That's a yellow card for Solskjaer. Which was a rather silly thing to do, wasn't it?
Had a little hook at him, didn't he? You know, that once again, that may be the frustration boiling over of...
Yeah, but there's no excuse for it.
No, I wouldn't argue.
No excuse.
I mean, it's unprofessional. This is particularly...
Well, it's so balmy when when these things get totted up, and if United do get through to a quarter-final and hopefully a semi-final, you don't want to be too many players on yellow cards. Well, here he goes now, Solskjaer. Beckham's made a great break for him through the middle. Cantona won't get to that. Solskjaer won't reach him in any case, and it's Prosinec now for Rapid Vienna. Ooh, and Stumpf has gone away. There's been a slip in the defence, and David May, superb play there. Spotted that danger, put his foot on the accelerator and got across there before Stumpf could make advantage of it.
Excellent insurance, that excellent covering. I think he even made up Schmeichel's mind for him, because I think Schmeichel's got into that little yes-no interlude there.
Kubau. Sturger. Kubau. Radicic. Kubau. Stumpf. Back to Haraf. United forcing her back now. Ivanov, the last man. Haraf. And now United have got everybody except Cantona back behind the ball. Radicic. A little flick by him, another little flick, and a United boot gets in there, the boot of Gary Neville. The wind's getting up here as well in Vienna at the moment. Consul, the goalkeeper, with the kick. Up to his big striker, Stumpf. And an offside, I think it must be against Wagner. A free kick to Manchester United. May finding Irwin. Cantona coming to collect, being hustled. But he wasn't fouled. He thought he was. Haraf. Kubau. Sturger's made a break. Never stops running. Haraf. It's a Rapid Vienna throw. Radicic. Well, it's a fairly shapeless passage of play.
Yeah, it's gone messy, hasn't it?
There's a break by Beckham from Roy Keane's ball. Solskjaer waiting in the middle. And it's a goal.
Beckham thinks he might have had a free kick there, he got run out of it, but it's encouraging. That's twice this half he's made very strong forward runs, Beckham, and he didn't have a little bit of a case there. Ratajic's used his arms to some effect.
Ratacic, Sturger, Wagner, and Nicky Butt doing his best to shake him off, but gets a free kick for Manchester United. Beckham. They're playing it forward to Cantona.
I think Eric's, you know, we've lauded him a lot, but I think we've also got to say to him tonight, there's one or two occasions certainly where we just seen clean this out.
Alistair done well again.
Yeah, I
he's
think
done really well again.
Getting back to Cantona then, I think he should be just dropping passes off and linking people up, where twice now we've seen it where he's tried to turn against all odds when he's had his own players supporting him and looking for just bread and butter passing. They've lost possession, United, and, you know, Rapid Vienna have come back on the attack from nothing situations, really.
Neville looking around to see what's around and spots Schmeichel.
It's amazing. I see, like Alex Ferguson's out there trying to get some sort of message onto them now. It's amazing they, you know, United, I feel sure if they could just put 3 or 4 passes together and pick up their tempo, they get back into the form they were showing early on.
Offside there against Sturger. Not much doubt about it either.
They've been a lot better at that tonight, United. I mean, against Juventus, I thought they were taking an awful lot of chances playing offside, but tonight, whether the Rapid Vienna players aren't quite as cute up front, I mean, I don't think they would be, you know, people like Del Piero and Boxer, but they've never looked in too much trouble with their offside trap tonight.
Alistair ducking his head in. Played forward again towards Solskjaer. Cantona. Solskjaer's gone down. Cantona gets it back to May. And now to Neville. Done by him. Keane's made the break. Surging one from midfield. And it's a free kick, I think, for Manchester United.
I think Shuttle will be very lucky not to get a booking here. I think the free kick's going to be deemed sufficient.
Beckham will, either Beckham or Giggs will take the free kick. Alistair, May, Cantona, Solskjaer, Keane, all up in the Rapid Vienna box. Keane playing it in, or rather Giggs playing it in. It wasn't a good one at all, but trying to retrieve it. Beckham, Giggs, that's good play. Beckham again. And it was Graf who finally got it clear. Alistair, long legs, done him in Manchester United, good service again, and Nicky Butt, ferocious little midfield player, comes away with it, and a yellow card. I only think for Sturger. Free kick to Manchester United then. May with it. Oscar, substitute, waiting to come on. Goes Keane, up goes Giggs. Solskjaer tries to get in there, but banged away there by Ratacic. Still with Nicky Butt. A good long run and not a bad save. Oh, and he almost got in for the rebound. Well, that was a real let-off then for Rapid Vienna. And Giggs now trying to keep it going for Manchester United. He gets Solskjaer, the flag has stayed down, Solskjaer, and he balloons that far too high.
Well, Giggs has threaded him in beautifully there. I was looking to make the sub here, but Giggs has threaded him in beautifully there, and I think Solskjaer's just had a rush of blood there. He's panicked there.
Well,
this guy's had the benefit of the doubt with the decision, yeah.
And Penska comes on in place of Stumpf. And there's some treatment, I think, for Michael Console.
Yeah, I mean, just before Solskjaer blasted that one over the bar, of course, we had the double butt incident, didn't we? When,
yes.
When Nicky Butt burst through, blasted one in.
Here he is.
It's his first shot. He gets another block on it. Swerving.
It was swerving, wasn't it? The keeper was going the wrong way.
He's made up the ground on him there, and he's gone in very, very brave as well.
Indeed.
Played well as Console, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Yes, he's 34 years old now, and as I say, he's been in the first team here since 1985. In fact, he played in the Cup Winners' Cup final against Everton that year when Everton beat Rapid Vienna 3-1.
I know his manager rates him the best keeper in the group, doesn't he? Best particular keeper in this group, although I think he had Juventus players in every other position.
Yes. Now, here's Penska making his first contribution. Sturger's right there forward as well for him. Kubar's close at hand. Radicic's here as well. Here's Radicic. Shaking off the challenge of Beckham. Sturger playing Radicic in again. Across the line. There's a chance now. And somehow it cannoned off a United defender. Sturger can't believe it. He thought, this is it. And it cannons behind for the corner.
I think it was Pallister. Who made a great block. I mean, you thought that was an equaliser, and that's good setting up play. They've got rid of the first one.
Well, here comes the corner. Keane got ahead to that one. I think, in fact, it came off David May.
Yes, it was well, when you say came off him, Brian, I think he made up the ground for it. I think it was a great block. But it shows that the Austrians can get in. They are dangerous, really.
And Schmeichel there first for that one. And now some space for Cantona to work. He's got Giggs up, he's got Solskjaer up, and he's got Beckham up as well. He's got Butt in support. He's played the least likely ball and played it right across the field here for Gary Neville. Here's Beckham. Plenty of green shirts are back now. Keane playing it again for Beckham. Just tempting Gary Neville to get in there. And Schöttl gets it clear for Vienna. Keane again. United still leading by Ryan Giggs' goal after 23 minutes. And here's Solskjaer. Cantona's waiting in the middle. Giggs is coming up fast. And Cantona with a header hits the woodwork. Alistair goes in. Free kick given for Rapid Vienna. But Cantona, who scored in the away game against Fenerbahce, and Solskjaer picks him out superbly there. Look at that leap, look at those neck muscles, and then look at that bit of bad luck. Off the Vienna post.
There wasn't much Console was going to do about that one.
No. Sturger's coming off now, and they're bringing another substitute on, the Russian Mandrika. That's how close Cantona was to making it 2-0 Manchester United.
Solskjaer did excellent there, though. You know, he had nobody else in the box to pick out but Cantona.
Extraordinary story is from the Manchester United dressing room at half-time. The players weren't told, in fact, that Juventus were leading 1-0. They were told it was still 0-0. Well, we're delighted to tell you that it is 1-0 in Turin, and it is 1-0 here as well. I guess Alex wanted to keep them thoroughly on their toes. Cantona playing it down the line now. Keane making the break again. Heref going with it. Yeah. And a little bit of wrestling there. Keane, remember, already on a yellow card. Finds Cantona. Solskjaer. Now, can he get inside the box? Can he get it across? No, but he can get a corner. Halfway through the second half. And a night that so far has gone very well indeed for Manchester United.
Just need that little bit of extra cushion, don't they? They need that second goal so they can really believe in this.
Alistair May and Keane here. They want a longer corner this time. And it's nodded wide by Gary Pallister. It's Giggs' goal after 23 minutes. It's given United a real hope of reaching the quarter-finals of the Champions League. Canton's header, cannoning off the post. Up goes Pallister, wins it comfortably in the air, and more than that, almost sends Solskjaer on his way. Free kick though for Rapid Vienna. Penska. Now Neville. Keane. Neville. Beckham. Cantona. Beckham again. Keane couldn't keep it in play. It'll go for a throw for Vienna. Radicek takes it. Up to Penska. Well, he won himself a free kick there. I don't think there was very much wrong with the challenge by David May, but he reacted and the referee blew up. And there's Radicek with the free kick. Kozinik coming this way. Andrejka, the Russian. Radicek, Pole, it's Penska. Little flick by him, but done comfortably enough this time by Schmeichel. It's been a good Manchester United performance overall, although Alex Ferguson did say this morning when we were talking to him that if they reach the quarter-finals, then he would be certainly looking to strengthen the squad with 1 or 2 players before the deadline for the quarter-finals, which I think is early February the 4th. And that's a bad bit of play there by Radicek. Cantona. Solskjaer. Oh, this is some good play here. Owen's made a terrific break, and Beckham was in there.
That was a brilliant move. Some great
Wonderful
play up the middle by Solskjaer. The way he received and threaded the ball back in. It's a good early ball in from Beckham. I think the defender does very well here and just does enough, you know. In fact, I thought he half got a touch on that, just to put Beckham off as he's sliding in.
But a great run by Owen and a great cross by the fullback. But still 1-0 Manchester United. But winning it in the air. Cantona also. Beckham can't though. Oh, ball given away badly. Beckham says thank you very much. Solskjaer's in the middle. Cantona's in there too. And it might be Cantona! 2-0! Times are over for him now, and the good times certainly look to be on the way for Manchester United.
Yeah, certainly Beckham's taken full advantage of that misplaced pass. I think the Rapid Vienna defenders were actually looking for Cantona to be offside. It's placed out on a lovely curling ball. I think it's Solskjaer just missing the first one. Cantona's not going to miss that one.
Scored before tonight, only 1 in the last 13 games. That doesn't seem possible. And maybe he's put those unsuccessful times behind him now as he hammers that one into the back of the Rapid net. And it's 2-0 Manchester United.
Oh, not even the semblance of offside. The central defender standing there rooted.
So it's looking good. 2-0 for Manchester United. 1-0 still in Turin for Juventus. Giggs. Trying to make progress on the far side, a bit of a tumble on the ground there. Rapid get it away, only as far as Pallister. Solskjaer, he's been much more of a handful tonight. And here's Cantona, but he couldn't quite get it past the last man. And Rapid Vienna just happy to get it away.
Yes, you were right to say, Solskjaer's been very, very lively.
Yeah.
He's basically been the front man up there on his own. The player they play the first ball into, and he's turned and twisted. And usually Alex Ferguson's taken him off before this, hasn't he?
Yes.
But he's obviously been very pleased with
Ryan
it.
Giggs. And away comes Kuba. Here come Rapid Vienna again. And Keane, a lovely bit of play by Roy Keane. Made up so much ground, timed his tackle perfectly, played the ball, not the man. But Keane is down. And Cantona plays it in. And in doing that, my feeling is that Roy Keane is in a bad way.
Certainly looked to be in a lot of agony when he went down and made that retrieving tackle.
I mean, it was an amazing challenge that he made there. He made up a good 20 yards or so on Kuba. Well, this could be the downside of the evening. If Keane is injured, he means so much to them in that midfield. And you can tell by the look on the United players' faces and the fact that they are swarming around there that they themselves are very concerned. This is the goal again. We think Solskjaer plays it in. Cantona on the far side. Perfect there. And again, United fans will be happy with that scene. I think it's Brian McClair who'll be coming on. Schmeichel's come across as well, just outside the trainer's bench as well, to pass on the information.
I would think while they're there as well, no matter what they're saying, they'll be looking to try and find out what's going on in Italy. There's that recovery tackle. Yeah,
just turns his ankle by the look of it as he went over. He turned his ankle, you know.
I mean, your first fear was he may have caught his shin with the ex-Kuba, but
well, that'll be a massive blow if they, in terms of looking at the Premiership as well, if they have to lose him for a few weeks. But McClair, you couldn't find a better or more experienced warhorse to come on. Ryan McClair, 30 years old now. Well, his legs have been strapped. That looks fairly ominous. Well, I don't know why the Austrian fans are whistling like this. If the guy is seriously injured, you've got to do everything that is possible to make sure he's comfortable to get him off. No doubt Gary Newbon down there. We'll get some news of Roy Keane just as soon as we can. So he's off, and Brian McClair, with a lot of experience behind him, comes on in his place, presumably to take up a midfield position. And what have we got inside the last quarter of an hour? United leading 2-0. Giggs and Cantona the scorers. Juventus leading 1-0 still in Turin. United, if it stays this way, heading clearly towards the quarterfinals, but Roy Keane in a lot of pain there. And he's had such a good game tonight, Ron.
He may well have been the man of the match, actually. I mean, the irony of it all was, you know, when they went 2-0 up, I just wonder whether Alex might just have brought him off anyway because of him being on a yellow card.
A yellow, yes.
Just to make sure he was safe, you know, for the next round.
May with a header. Kubau. Radicek. Beckham trying to contain him. Araf. Irwin with an interception. A little more luck than judgment about that one, but it came off for him nonetheless. But he couldn't make a stop there. But here's Nicky Butt. Butt let it run too far. And that bobble just before Gary Neville could get hold of it as well. Clare's first touch. And now his second.
Yeah, he'll just do the responsible job now and just sit in front of the back people and just keep the game ticking over.
Nothing spectacular required now, just good, safe, quality football. But here's Beckham doing something spectacular. Here's Beckham on his way. But in the end, Radicek gets it away. To even off. A little flick by him. That's gone straight to Nicky Butt. And he's gone down. And he looks to be in trouble. Well, this is a victory at the moment at a considerable price.
I was just going to say, it could be a very expensive last few minutes. He just got the outside of his left knee, but look at it.
We don't know what the Roy Keane injury is yet, but we understand that Alex Ferguson is very distressed about it all. There's this one to contend with, Nicky Butt. And there's no doubt about it, Keane and Butt have been the guts of the midfield for Manchester United tonight. Well, the stretch is coming on for Nicky Butt, but he's going to hobble off. We hope to come back on. So we could still have pretty interesting last 10 or 11 minutes. So Neville has thrown the ball back behind the goal line, so Rapid Vienna get possession again, this time with a goal kick. It's the right knee that's the problem, and this is how it happened. The temperature is dropping all the time. I imagine Manchester United fans here too much worry about that. That goes with the bob. Radicek hitting it long. Comes Owen. Beginning to warm up.
I think he'll probably come up on this right hand side and comes going by central.
Well, Roy Keane uses this badly gashed leg. They hope it's not broken. So maybe it's not as bad as the first thought. Down to 10 men at the moment, but who's holding off, and Boboski coming on. So in terms of it, it's been pretty appalling. Last 5 minutes for Manchester United. Vizio coming. But Boboski is on. So soon to be on. Then you're right. Fresh race. Think the no. My fence is just down back. McClare. Back on get to it. Singler can. There's still work to be done for Manchester United. If Rapid was score now with a slightly disorganised face of them, who knows what the last 10 minutes might bring. I guess it might be able to stand it on by the Swedish referee. Through the night to Michael, banging it away into the safe half of the ground. I may. First show. Take away there. He doesn't do that often in that sort of position. Rosic. And the cross just comes in there. Palace just gets foot. It clipped off him onto Enter, and then the high forgot.
Yeah, so do that big question now.
Well, inside this. There's maybe 3 or 4 minutes, at the very least, the allowed on. The attention both for Keane and to Button. Retchard. Rosic on the far side, push to Haraf. Beckham really deep, getting it away. Oh, and there's give the bullet and Tanner through. But all charge just a fraction of sight.
If he delayed it there, Canton could have played that lot earlier. You know, saw screen.
So still here in the till 1-0. Into your ring. Yeah, best for the branch. So earlier on this program forward by Padavaro. Radovich. Good play by Miller. And now Neville hit long. Haraf. Kubar to Haraf. Kubar again.
I think he's one that will appreciate Roy Keane and Nicky Butt going off.
Irwin playing it for Canton. Beckham, now Poborski. United happy at the moment, just a second in it remain.
They certainly knew the sense of the price and paces they played in first half.
I just have the fear could be still a sting in the tail if the Austrian champions are something here. Fairly low. They end back inside the defending much more pressure now. But that Borsi ball put never in trouble. But he fought his way inside. Pop away. But he hasn't quite got the base. And gets the back to his old keeper console. Rosic. Great to Gibson. Cannot out there too. He says. United so firmly that having seat. Neville the throw. Fans and the players were incensed when the rap that John was mentioning earlier was asked to name also our team from the group. A lot of his players in one for Fenerbahce, but not one for Manchester United. They thought was a bit strong, and they finished out tonight. You would have Keane might have got in. Keane might have got in. But he said no.
Certainly Keane.
Let's just go quickly to Turin.
Another from Stu. That's excellent. That should do it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen that. That's goal. That's about says it. Which is needed playing quarterfinals of Champions League. Unless something really extraordinary happens here. And the messenger apparently has already got through to Exosen. We're going to down on the bench. So there he is. A man who looks as though he might be leading Manchester United into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And it's gone absolutely 100% right for him. And young Chris Kasper went on the subject. Take his European bow. Ball block now. 2-0 here. 2-0 down. Ball block now. Take off. 2-0 here. 2-0 down. He might have a Chafandra. Young Chris Kasper is a defender. Directly. Anyone with old. Here's Kubana for Vienna. That's coming in. Even off was in there. The bow volley over the Manchester Chris Barker. And it's Gary losing off. Sporters over Crispa. And Chris Kasper. Burnley ball. Told it start. Some of the famous former Burnley. Frank Kasper. Appearance in the Coca-Cola Cup. This game was off. This is his first big senior. His first time in Europe. Both Ekman, Paul Beski, pouncing on him and it's multi-time now. It's just a question of looking around, waiting for the referee. It's busy all night. Put final bluster with Val pegging it in, and Castor getting it away. Kasper. Now, again, of it. He was either little cross by him, way, Pallister's header, so in, was either little cross by him, way, Pallister's header, so important, on his way there, McClare, and the kick, as Radicic 6, shot above the running track. Your overall impression, please, Ron?
Very satisfactory result. Obviously, that's the more important thing of the first half of the play. Some excellent stuff. The second, I think there's doing one eye the other match, and I've got a feeling what's going on anyway.
Kind of got out beautifully. Shot McClare outnumbered. Radicic. Thank you, he says. But he gets lose it. It was a good chance by Shuffle. And now shot to high. Another kick.
I think the biggest difference in this half to the other one was that the ball has changed hands more often from side to side, hasn't it? Whereas in the first half, there was a lot of movement from both sides.
Well, I'm not sure that they're Manchester United celebrations, but the United fans have got plenty to celebrate here in Ernst-Happel-Stadion in Vienna. Cantona's goal, the second one, really sealed for United after Gates had scored in the first half. It's all over. And Manchester United, and it's the result as well. So you know now that Manchester United go into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Those old hits and the one by Everton that really set them on their way.